Within a span of 8 years, Patreon has transformed into a company worth $4 billion. This crowdfunding platform serves as a consistent supplementary income for numerous creators, with some earning more than $200,000 annually. However, the journey of Patreon extends far beyond its humble beginnings. Initially, it was established by a duo of roommates. One was a physics student who later faced financial hardships as an aspiring artist, surviving on meager YouTube earnings, while the other worked as a delivery driver while studying computer science. Get ready to dive into the fascinating story of Patreon. Jack Conte, born in San Francisco, California in 1984, preceded his future roommate and co-founder of Patreon, Sam Yam, by 4 years. Growing up, Jack was immersed in a musical environment, as his father worked as a doctor and his mother as a nurse, both sharing a deep love for jazz music. They passed on their passion to Jack, who naturally followed in their footsteps. At the age of 6, Jack's father taught him to play the blues, marking only the beginning of his musical journey. Over time, he would write arrangements for his a cappella group and create his own music. On the other side of the Patreon story, Sam Yam was born in Iowa City, Iowa, to Hong Kong immigrants. His family later relocated to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where they opened a Chinese restaurant, and Sam worked there as a waiter. Similar to Jack, Sam had an interest in music and studied the piano, even performing at Carnegie Hall in New York. Both Sam and Jack, after graduating from high school, gained admission to the esteemed Stanford University, and coincidentally became roommates. During their time at Stanford, Jack met Natalie Dawn, who was studying art, and the two fell in love. Jack pursued a degree in physics while Sam focused on computer science. However, they both felt a desire to explore beyond their academic studies. Sam, who had once considered a career in the arts, ultimately chose computer science due to his affinity for playing video games. Even in college, Sam displayed his entrepreneurial spirit by establishing his own online business, providing a platform for dorm students to order and receive In-N-Out burgers, delivering them personally, a concept ahead of its time before the advent of food delivery apps like Uber Eats or Grubhub. Meanwhile, Jack's experience studying physics took a turn when he realized his true passion lay in music after attending a particular class that left him unfulfilled. He made the decision to shift his focus from physics to music, and began studying at Stanford's Center for Computer Research in Music and Acoustics. However, this change in direction initially dampened Jack's spirits, as he saw it as a commitment to a life of financial struggle. Seeking advice, he turned to his uncle, who happened to be a jazz guitarist. Yet, his uncle's response was discouraging, warning Jack about the competitiveness and challenges that lay at the bottom of the music industry. Regarding today's industry leaders, Jack Conte initially felt apprehensive about the prospect of being a struggling artist throughout his life. However, he persevered and successfully graduated from Stanford University with a music degree. Just a year later, Jack embarked on a new venture by sharing a unique form of music on YouTube, which he referred to as video songs. In these accompanying videos, he made a deliberate effort to showcase the instruments used for each sound, providing viewers with a visual understanding of his music-making process and fostering knowledge about the creation of each sound. In due course, Jack released an album titled Nightmares and Daydreams, gradually generating a modest income by selling MP3s of his music on eJunkie.com, earning a few $100s per month. Little did he anticipate that his musical career would soon skyrocket to new heights, only to face an unexpected downturn caused by circumstances beyond his control. After a year, Jack Conte and his girlfriend, Natalie Dawn, who is also a musician, joined forces to form their band, Pamplemousse. The band's name was inspired by Natalie's time spent in Belgium and France, where pamplemousse means grapefruit in French. Their first release was a song called Pas Zonko, predominantly in French. Initially, they didn't identify themselves as Pamplemousse, as both Jack and Natalie were individual YouTubers sharing their music on their respective channels. They uploaded the collaboration video on Jack's channel, combining Natalie's softer vocals with Jack's edgier music to create a unique sound that resonated with listeners. Motivated by their initial success, Jack and Natalie decided to explore the possibility of making a living from their music. They began selling their music on iTunes while continuing to share more of their songs on YouTube. In 2009, Jack and Natalie served as producers for an album released by Julia Nunes, another musician and YouTuber. Inspired by Julia's ability to build an audience on YouTube through covers of popular songs, Jack realized the potential of attracting listeners who enjoyed unique reinterpretations of their favorite tracks. Pamplemousse then released cover versions of songs like My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music. However, their breakthrough came with a cover of Beyoncé's Single Ladies, which became a hit. Despite receiving offers from record labels to sign the band, Jack and Natalie made the deliberate decision to decline the offers. This allowed them to retain ownership of the rights and royalties to their original recordings, granting them full control over the earnings generated from their music sales. With this autonomy, they were able to sustain a living, earning $22,000 per month, and embarked on successful tours, performing for hundreds or even thousands of people per show. Meanwhile, Sam took a different path after graduating from Stanford. He worked as a software engineer, serving in roles such as a first server engineer and mobile engineer at a startup called Looped, which was later acquired by Green Dot for $43 million. Demonstrating his entrepreneurial spirit once again, Sam co-founded AdWorld, a platform that allowed mobile developers to monetize their games through advertisements. Shortly after launching the company, AdWorld was acquired by AdMob, which was eventually acquired by Google. Sam spent some time at Google before joining a startup incubator called Dogpatch Labs, where he interacted with Instagram creators while seeking his next big venture. Unbeknownst to Sam, the opportunity he had been searching for would come from his old friend Jack. During this time, the music industry experienced a shift with the rise of music streaming platforms like Spotify, which significantly impacted Jack Conti's earnings from iTunes sales. He went from comfortably making a living through music sales to dipping into his savings to cover his mortgage payments. Jack found himself struggling with the realization that his value as an artist might be reduced to just a band logo on merchandise. Recognizing that he would need to take matters into his own hands to monetize his art, Jack attempted to build his own platform but faced rejection 40 times. One day, Jack stumbled upon a crowdfunding platform called Kickstarter that had the potential to assist artists in funding their projects. Inspired by their roommate Lauren O'Connell's successful Kickstarter campaign, which raised $13,000 to cover studio rental and hiring a mixer for her album, Jack was amazed by the support Lauren received from her fans. Motivated by Lauren's achievement, Natalie decided to launch her own Kickstarter campaign for her album and created a promotional video for it on YouTube. Her campaign managed to raise an impressive sum of $104,000. Meanwhile, Jack was occupied with producing a music video for his single Petals. Being particularly proud of the song, he wanted to create something extraordinary and imaginative without worrying about budget constraints. The end result was a visually captivating video featuring two robots, a replica of the Millennium Falcon's cockpit, and spinning compartments from which Jack and the robots emerged. Although Jack contemplated using Kickstarter for his own project, he ultimately decided against it. He saw Kickstarter as a means of funding a single project, where the money would be allocated accordingly. However, Jack desired an ongoing source of funding that would allow him to continue producing art throughout his entire career, a type of funding that did not exist at the time. Then in February, Jack faced a financial realization. He had invested $10,000 in the production of the Petals music video, maxing out 2 credit cards and depleting his savings account in the process. I felt a sudden terror, as if waking up to what awaited on the other side. Knowing that the music video would only bring in around $100 from YouTube ads, the realization sickened me considering the immense money, time, and effort invested in it. The traditional methods of payment for artists like iTunes music sales had failed to keep up with streaming services like Spotify. Artists, including myself, were now earning pennies from music streaming. It seemed like we were working for free. One Sunday afternoon, sitting at my kitchen table, I pondered the need for a steady income and the freedom to pursue my artistic inspiration. Membership organizations like the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art and NPR were raising funds through monthly donations online. However, there was no such avenue for artists to sustainably monetize their work. Determined to find a solution, I sketched out a 14-page website design concept. I reached out to friends, including my former roommate Sam, who was building an online marketplace called OurSpot. Sam's success in the startup world made him the perfect ally. Excitedly, I pitched my idea to him, emphasizing the importance of monthly income for artists. Sam immediately saw the potential and agreed to work on it. Together, Sam and I embarked on creating what would later become Patreon. We worked relentlessly throughout the year, using cloud services to host our servers. While finding creators to join our platform proved challenging initially, we launched with 3 creators: myself, Natalie, and our roommate Lauren. Patreon offered fans different membership tiers to support their favorite creators. Within weeks, my income climbed to $5,000 per month, eventually reaching over $100,000 per year. However, we soon realized the need for additional funding to expand our team and enhance the platform. Investors were initially hesitant, but Sam's contact, John Felser, saw the potential and invested. In total, Patreon raised $2.1 million. Sam and I became roommates again, setting up our office in a 2-bedroom apartment in San Francisco. We hired staff and kept costs low by not taking a salary ourselves. However, starting Patreon meant stepping away from my musical career and being physically apart from my wife Natalie and our band Pamplemousse. Despite its growth and success, Patreon faced challenges in content moderation. With the guidance of an experienced advisor, we developed a content policy to prevent harm. This process exposed me to the darkest corners of the internet, making it one of the most distressing periods of my life. Through perseverance and guidance, Patreon became a platform attracting over 25,000 creators and their fans. While it came at personal sacrifices like being away from my musical pursuits and loved ones, I saw it as a necessary step towards supporting artists and providing them with sustainable income. While Patreon has made progress, it still faces challenges, including finding a profitable business model without burdening creators with high fees. However, it has successfully raised an additional $155 million and currently holds a valuation of $4 billion. Jack, as the head of a billion-dollar company, hasn't given up on music. Pamplemousse had its biggest year in 2020 and is now a profitable business on its own. The story of Jack and Sam teaches us that following your passion can lead to a successful career, but it requires hard work and adaptability in an ever-changing market. Sometimes it means building your own company to sustain your dreams. This is the tale of a former physics student turned starving artist and a computer science student turned delivery driver who joined forces to revolutionize the arts industry. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Business Central. Stay connected with us, like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell so you won't miss a video. Stay inspired, stay informed, and keep making waves in the world of business. See you in the next one.